Likewise. Good to see you.
You too, yeah. My biggest stress is always the hair, so if it looks really bad, just tell me. This Florida weather is different.
You look just like you look in your Instagram.
Oh, good. Oh, I hope that's good. I don't know.
Yeah. Everything looks good.
Okay, great.
We ready, Kobe?
Yep.
Yo, Portia, what's up, man?
It's so good to be here.
All right, so we just met 7 minutes ago, right?
Live and in person, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you came across my Instagram reel one day. I wasn't following you. You just popped up and you started talking about your time that you did in federal prison.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I watched the whole reel, because when I hear people talk about federal prison, I sit and I listen.
Yeah.
And then the more they say, the more they describe, then I say, okay, this person knows. Where are you from?
I'm from Utah. Yeah.
What part of Utah?
Well, I grew up in a really small town, on the outskirts of a small town, so kind of out in the country, but I live in the city now, just outside of Salt Lake City. So.
Okay, now, Utah it's like its own culture, man.
Its own country, yeah.
So, like, what goes on with Utah? The Mormon thing goes on out there?
I'm a member. I'm a member of the
You're a
LDS
Mormon?
Church. Yes.
What is that?
So, it's a Christian church, and with pretty, I would say, high values. Like, we have standards that you don't have sex before you get married, you don't use tobacco or alcohol, don't even drink coffee, and large families, family values, and a strong emphasis on integrity. So you can see that I wasn't a very good member of the church because I ended up going to prison. What's interesting, though, I have a lot of people that say, like, were you ousted out of the church? How did people treat you? And it was the complete opposite. Like, I was so supported and loved through that process.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that my membership in the church has been a strength to me. Well, I know that it has. And also, like, I'm pretty grounded in my faith in God. You know, my relationship with Him is a big part of my life. My younger years were pretty tough, and so I wasn't active in the church when I was a kid.
Why were your younger years tough?
I ended up.
You born and raised in Utah?
I was, but my parents were really different. Like, my dad was a Vietnam vet. He had PTSD, and my mom was like a super hippie. So we really didn't fit into the culture. We lived, again, on the outskirts of this small town, kind of off the grid. And I'm the oldest of 7 kids, so it was pretty chaotic. There were no rules or boundaries. We just kind of played and did our thing. And when I turned 13, that's when I just said, I'm not going to church. I don't want to be a part of that. Didn't feel like I fit in. And I also started struggling with, my first problem was relationships, in and out of relationships with older boys. And then I got into alcohol in my teen years, and then drug addiction, young single mom, and my life just started out pretty tough.
What nationality are you?
Well, don't know. My dad was, my grandmother was Native. And so, but my dad was adopted.
Native American?
Yeah, Native American.
What?
Lakota.
Lakota.
Yeah.
That was your grandmother?
Right.
On your father's side?
On my father's
What
side.
about your mother's side?
Nope, they're just white.
But you don't know?
Not really.
Europe, or?
Not really. My grandmother died before I was born, and I don't have a real strong connection to my roots that way. My parents were just kind of their own people, and so I didn't grow up around, like, we were really just us. Like, me and my brothers and sisters were this little gang of kids, and my parents didn't really follow society's rules. Like, they read a lot of books and things about other cultures, and so my life was a little bit different as a kid.
When did your drug addiction take over?
So I got pregnant when I was 17, pregnant again, and was a single mom with 2 kids by the time I was 21, had another child, and I placed him for adoption. And at that point, I didn't understand what it would feel like to go through something like that. I just knew that I wasn't doing a great job with my kids. And I had been, involved in alcohol, but after that, I started first with prescription drugs, and then I started using methamphetamine, and I really just went off the rails. And so I was probably about 25. My hardcore addiction lasted about a year, and then I remember I came home late one night, and my mom was standing there with my son. My oldest son was 8 years old. And when I walked in, he had been standing there crying, waiting for me for about, my mom said, hours. She goes, all he cares about is you. Like, why is this, whatever you're doing, more important than this little boy that loves you so much? And
what do you think triggered you to push you toward
The addiction.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I always had this thing inside me that needed more. It was like, I don't know that I ever understood myself, but I felt like an emptiness that the first time I used drugs seemed to make it go away. Like I just felt like I needed it. First it's boys, or it's alcohol, or it's hustling, and it just got worse and worse. And I had this conflict because I have these children that I love, but I'm not a great parent. I'm really selfish. I start using drugs, and then I guess I also like the fast life. Like I know this about myself.
So the two kids that you had, they're by the same father?
Nope.
So two different fathers?
And no fathers in their life. Like I wasn't getting child support or anything. My parents were really helpful. Like I lived with my parents and stuff. But at this point, my parents are raising my kids, and I just go off and use drugs.
You were the oldest of 7.
Right.
What was your relationship like with your parents growing up?
I think with my dad, I'm probably more like my dad. He's really stubborn. I'm really stubborn. And so it was very difficult. Like I'm closer to my dad than my mom, but my dad would like come for me and I would come back for him. Like we fought a lot. And my mom.
He loved you?
Yeah.
Your mother loved you?
Yeah. I have parents that love me. I ran all over my mom because I have a strong personality. So it's like, there's no way she's going to tell me what to do. And then my dad would try to tell me what to do, and it was just impossible at that point.
You finished high school?
No, I got a GED, but that was just because I went on welfare and they required it. But yeah.
When did you quit high school?
Junior year, when I got pregnant.
Okay. Now, you go to the feds.
Yeah, but that took a minute. Like after I got sober when I was in my 20s.
So you got clean?
I got clean. I got clean for 5 years, and.
What made you get clean?
My kids. Yeah, my kids. Like that night that I came home, my son. My heart broke that night, and I.
When your mother was standing there with him, he was crying.
Yeah, I just said I
will. You stopped that night.
I stopped that night, but I remember I went up to my dad the next morning, and I was like, Dad, I need help, and he's like, I have tried to help you for years. He goes, I can't. I give up. I thought you were gonna die. He's like, you have to find someone else to help you. I can't do it. Which I'm so grateful for, because honestly, like as long as my parents were enabling me, I wasn't gonna get clean, right? And so I went across the street, and this is why I really got active in the LDS church. My dad, I knew my parents.
What church?
You call it Mormon church, but LDS.
LDS?
Latter-day Saint. Yeah.
Latter-day Saints.
Yeah.
Church of Latter-day. Okay.
Yeah. So I went to this bishop who's a leader in our church, and I said, I don't know what to do. Like I haven't been to the church for years, but I'm a drug addict. I need help. And he was really honest with me. So I've learned, be grateful for people that are honest with you. He's like, you are.
What did he say?
He said, you might be the most selfish person I've ever met. He told me the truth, you know, and.
But how do you know that he never met you?
Oh, because I told him, you know, my whole life's a mess. My parents are screwing everything up. I mean.
Oh, it was everybody else's fault?
Yeah, it's everybody else's fault. And he's like, you need to figure out why your life is the way it is. First of all, he invited someone over that was involved in AA. And the guy spoke truth to me. He's like, shut up and listen. And he gave me, me the facts.
What year is this?
This was like 98, 99. Yeah. And so.
I started in AA. I went to AA in 1990. I got clean in 1990.
Oh.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Congratulations. Yeah, it was life-changing for me to go into those meetings. Like to listen to people tell the truth and not pretend.
And talk about themselves.
Yeah, and it's like, in a way, all this hard things that you've been through is your credibility when you walk into those rooms. You're not trying to pretend to be something you're not, you know?
Right.
And I had been living my life trying to pretend I had it together, and I didn't. I was a mess. And so this bishop really helped me. He's like, you got to figure out why you've done all the things you've done. And I ended up writing a 4th step out, and I went back to him and I said, I figured it out. He's like, why? And I said, because I wanted to. It was my fault. It wasn't my parents. It wasn't my ex-husband. I chose it. And he's like, yes. Like that's the power, right? When you recognize you did this to yourself. And so accountability, yeah. So that was but here's the hard part. Obviously there's still the story because I went to prison after this, right? So
how old are you at this point?
I was like 27-ish right then. Getting clean. And the thing is, like, when I got clean, I just had to go get a job. Like I thought this would be the hardest thing I ever had to do because I had to just start at nothing, right? And I ended up getting a job working as a telemarketer to just try to take care of my kids. and trying to show up and keep my word to my kids. I met my husband, which, like, I have no idea why he would even date me, because he's pretty solid. Like, he's super solid. I'm still trying to figure that out. I keep telling him, you were crazy.
How'd you meet him?
My sister, I have a sister that actually went to college and graduated, and she met him there. And I remember the first time I met Chad, I was like, man, I wish my life were different, because you're a really great guy, but I'm just not that person. Like, I won't be able to fit into the world you have. And he asked me on a date, and I said, what scared you the most about me, Chad? And he's like, Portia, everything about you scares me. Because he just had not been down this path, you know. And anyway, we got married, and he adopted my kids, and I was really grateful.
What year is this?
This was...
And how old are you?
I'm rolling up on 30, so it was not long after I got sober, and...
So he married you with 3 kids?
Married me with 2. I placed a son for adoption, so
okay.
I kind of put that pain in a box and had to just move forward and try to rebuild something with the kids that I had.
Did you ever reconnect with the son? Was it a daughter or?
It was a son.
Did you ever reconnect?
I have since, and we'll get into that, but that happened after I got out of prison.
Okay.
So, but at that point, I was just not trying to even feel that pain, because it was like, I got too much just to, you know, I've got this mess here. The thing about me is I'm a hard worker, and so, unfortunately, I like to hustle too, but at this point, I started my own photography business. So I started just working, and my company really grew. And then I had 2 more kids, because I'm just that girl. I have a lot of kids. So it's just what it is.
All right.
So I had 2 more kids, and
with Chad.
With Chad, yeah, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Chad's kind of, he's just a really good person. Like, he adopted my kids, so yeah. Plus, I just love him.
All right, so you're doing the photography thing.
Yeah.
Then what happens? How do you?
Oh goodness, man. So I remember I'm doing a lot of weddings. I'm photographing 200 weddings a year. So now I have employees. My whole house is a studio, and I decide, and this is about '94. I'm going to build a house to accommodate my studio, and I got these kids. I have a nanny now taking care of the kids, and I'm making some pretty good money, and my back goes out. And I'm the kind of drug addict that can't take anything. Like, I can't take anything. But I didn't tell the doctor. I'm like, don't write me the prescription, you know. So he wrote me the prescription, and I started using the pills again. And I'm thinking, you know, I'm okay. Like, I've got a family. I'm a hard worker. I can use these. I got a business, and I'm not on the streets. I mean, I'm not going back to that, you know. But my judgment, especially when I'm using drugs, is really poor. So I start hustling. And the real estate goes from the first house to buying a whole bunch of lots behind that house to buying a whole subdivision of lots. And I'm thinking, I'm going to, you know, just build homes, like construction homes. I'm going to get construction loans for these lots and build homes. Well, construction loans are hard to get. And so I'm tied up in a lot of hard money at this point, and I'm paying out a bunch of money in interest, and all the money I'm making on the business is going to this.
So these are all hard money loans that you got to buy all of these lots for
right,
the subdivision,
right?
Which is very expensive.
Which
money.
is very expensive and
with
risky.
The points,
right?
And the interest rate is a little higher.
I'm paying about $50,000 a month in interest at this point, and that's a lot of money, a lot more than I'm making. And so I'm moving like money from here to here, and I'm thinking,
you're juggling.
I'm juggling. And if I can make enough money, I won't have to work as a photographer. I can be home with my kids. I can just, and that's kind of to my judgment when I'm using drugs. Like, I just think it's always something else that's going to fix my problem, not me, right? Like, I'm not going to pull back and try to get some balance in my life. I'm going to make more and do more. And so I have all these lots tied up. I can't get them closed in construction loans. And these 2 guys come to me and say, hey, you should look at doing an equity deal. And I'm like, well, what's an equity deal, you know? Well, an equity deal is that we have this first deal that appraises for $5 million, but you can buy it for $2.5 million, and then you can pull a bunch of cash out of it and use that to fund your lots. And I'm thinking, well, I don't understand. Like, why don't you just sell it for $5 million? Like, I'm pretty naive at this point. My parents were kind of real estate investors. Like, we'd buy a new house every few years and they would level up, but I wasn't that street smart when it came to all of this. And so I showed it to my hard money lender, and he didn't really know much about it either. And so we were like, okay, well, let's close the deal. We'll pull some cash out of it. You can use some, I can use some, and we'll make the payment. We'll put a tenant in, and at that point, you can get a neg-am loan. So, you know, your payment might only be like $7-8 grand, and if we can each get $500,000 to invest, that seems like cheap money. And that's not how that
So
went.
neg am is negative amortization.
Right. So
Okay.
every month the balance is going up, right?
Right.
And so I'm thinking.
So you do the $5 million deal.
I do the $5 million deal, but we get stuck in hard money because you cannot close a $5 million loan like at 80%. Those are jumbo loans. They're hard to close. I didn't know this until I got stuck in the hard money, and so now he and I are trying to make a payment on that, and we're not getting it closed, and we find out we're going to have to take a lot less money out of it, and so I have someone come to me and they're like, the problem you have with that is that it's not under $3 million. I got a bunch of these deals that are under $3 million, and I got a bunch of people that want to buy them. If you can help facilitate the hard money, we can start closing these deals, and you can make a couple $100,000 a deal on these things. And I'm like, oh.
So you closed the $5 million
Yeah.
equity deal.
Right.
They wire you the money.
No, I didn't get any cash out of it. We paid out the $2.5 million. We threw a lien on it, thinking we were going to refinance it.
Paid out the $2.5 million to who?
To the seller, to these two guys that came in.
Okay.
So they made some money on the 2.5. They probably made $500,000, and they had this big appraisal for $5 million.
And they had no liability to
None
of your stuff.
No.
So they got free money.
They got some money
out of you.
Right. And now I'm stuck in more hard money.
To the tune of $5 million.
No, 2.5.
$2.5 million.
We're trying to get a loan.
Plus the other hard money that
in the
you
lots.
had in the lots. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I'm in a real bad situation.
You're in a lot of debt at this point.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no money coming in.
Right. So
right.
then me and some other guys come up with the model of, let's start closing these. And I'm learning, though. Keep in mind, I'm learning things, right? First thing I learn is construction loans don't work out very good.
They're very tough to get.
Yeah.
I used to be a real estate broker.
Okay, right. So I'm like, construction loans are not my jam. Like, we're going to get stuck. It's smarter for me to go to builders who have these deals already ready to go. And if they'll sell something to me for $1.5 million and the comps are in the neighborhood for $3 million, we'll just get $3 million appraisals for these. And then we'll structure the deal right so that I can make a few hundred. And there's tons of buyers because everyone at that point can get a loan.
What year is this?
This was like 2005, 2006.
Yeah, everybody
can
this
get
is
a loan. Before the crash.
George Bush, the crash with him. All you needed to have was just a social security number and be breathing.
Right.
And you could get a zero down $400,000 loan.
And you could get $400,000 cash back if it's structured right.
Right.
And that's what we did.
Right.
We structured these deals. I bought a couple. I used my husband's credit to buy a couple, which is why they ended up coming for him too. And then a whole bunch. I probably did 60 of these deals.
60?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever pay off the hard money?
So once we got it dialed in, what would happen is you take a builder that has a house for $1.5 million. He's willing to sell it. He's got his profit locked in. We'd get the appraisal.
It's already built.
It's already I'd try to lock it up before it's even done. But
right.
Once it's built, we have a joint venture agreement. And Matt made me laugh. He's like, joint venture, that's such a nice word to explain this. But yeah, we had a joint venture agreement that said $1.5 million will go to this builder, but we're going to close it at $3 million and create a HUD at
$300,000?
$3 million, I'm sorry. $3 million.
Okay.
We're going to close it at the $3 million, and that creates this closing statement at $3 million. We're going to put a lien for everything over and above the 1.5 on it, and then the bank is going to refinance it at an 80%
LTV.
Yeah, and so then a bunch of cash is going to come back to me and the buyer when that happens, and it usually takes about a month and a half, and we would get them pre-approved before we would even close. So I send it over to the bank. I say, this is my appraisal, $3 million. We're paying $1.5 million, and we want a bunch of cash back, and we're going to structure it like this. And the bank is like, oh yeah, we'll do that, and we'll even lend more. In some cases, they're like
a local bank or national
Washington
bank?
Mutual, like the big
guy.
guy.
Yeah, they was in on it.
I know, and that was really hard for me.
They ended up folding behind.
Right, but it was hard for me because they were so aware, not just so aware, but
complicit. They
were very complicit, right? And when the government came for me, I was like, okay, well, it's a conspiracy. I'll turn on Washington Mutual because I got these guys. I'm even wiring them money under the table to give us 90%. If I'm dirty, they're dirty. And they said, no, they're the victim. So the way my deal worked is they showed me as the kingpin, which was hard for me. I mean, I felt like it was a conspiracy. Like me, the appraiser, the banker, the mortgage broker, we're all in
Did
on
the
it.
appraiser go to jail too?
No.
Because the appraiser is fucked up too, right? If
Right.
he's he was in your pocket
I mean, we paid him $5,000 for the
per appraisal.
Right. Yeah.
That really costs $400.
Costs $5,000 if you're. Yeah. I
Right.
mean.
So he was in on it. He didn't go to prison. He didn't get indicted.
No.
You didn't tell him.
I mean, they had the statements. They knew how much I paid him. They had everything.
And his name was on the appraisal.
Yeah. I mean, we had a few appraisers that were doing these. But the thing is, the comps were there. So I mean, I can see why they didn't even get me on a lot of the things that you think they would.
What did you get charged with?
I got charged with not moving in. Like they ended up coming back and giving me occupancy charges, like the things they could actually prove. You got to understand though.
The
like
feds?
Yeah. So when the feds came in, they said, look, she's done 60 of these deals. These deals are dirty. They thought that I was getting all the cash back, and I'm like, no, I'm getting a chunk. But most of it's going back to the person that buys the house, right? My lawyers looked at it and said, I don't think you have a problem. Like
your criminal lawyers for your indictment or the real estate
the
lawyers?
real estate lawyers didn't think I had a problem. Like when I mapped it all out, they're going, geez, this is really smart,
Yeah, they don't give a fuck because they're getting a fee every closing.
Right. So they did. So and then they brought,
even if they knew what you was doing was wrong, they don't care.
They don't care
because they're gonna get paid at the closing on the HUD one.
Right.
What were they charging you per closing?
I don't even remember.
Big money.
But then when the grand jury investigation started, and I went back to my real estate lawyers, and they said, oh, let's bring in a criminal defense attorney. I went and met with him, and he said, you think you're more important than you are. Just stay under the radar. It's not really that big of a deal. You're not even getting all the money back. Like a lot of these, it's usually the buyer that's getting the cash back. And
so the real estate lawyers that were closing your deals, getting paid off the HUD one, referred you to an attorney?
Right.
And you went with it?
Well, that was my first lawyer. I had lots of lawyers. Like that's where I started. Because I heard, before they ever indicted me, I heard my name getting circled out there. Like I was like, oh, I go to close a deal, and they'd say, hey, people are asking for some of your paperwork. And I thought, well, is it the division of real estate? Because I got realtors mad at me anyway because I'm not closing with realtors. So who's asking for paperwork? And they couldn't really say. And then I heard that there was a grand jury investigation. Then the FBI showed up at my house. So at that point, I go back to the lawyer, because during all this, I'm talking to attorneys, right? I'm like, am I in trouble? Should I do something different?
Different attorneys than the one the real estate lawyers referred you to.
Yeah, I found new lawyers.
Because I'm thinking that the ones that
They're
the
in
real
the
estate
cahoots
lawyer
together.
referred you to are trying to protect themselves.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think for me, the challenge was that it was, I don't know, like, if I'm being honest, Sean, I could feel it in my gut.
Ain't no question.
Yeah, I already know that I got problems. And so I have attorneys telling me things that I want to hear. Like, oh yeah, what you did isn't that big of a deal. Like, you're not that, and that sounds really good. I'm going to hold on to that. But the reality of it is I know that I have a whole bunch of money coming and going. I know that the houses aren't worth the $3 million. I know this. So like, I have this feeling inside me going, this isn't good. But I don't want to go to prison, right? I'm scared. And I've already talked my husband into quitting his job and staying home and taking care of the kids. So the weight's on me, and I'm starting to hear, well, at this point, I didn't even know they were coming for Chad, but I'm thinking, I can't go to prison. Like, I already fought my way out of addiction. I've rebuilt my life. I have kids. I can't go to prison. I'm not going to prison. So I'm going to find more lawyers that are going to tell me what I'm doing is above board.
You thinking about prison at this point? Or you just thinking like, I'm in trouble?
I'm thinking I'm in trouble, but I'm still going. Like
while you're doing this,
right?
While you're doing this, and you know this shit ain't right,
yeah.
You thinking like,
no,
I could go to jail for this?
No,
right?
No, I'm not thinking.
I was the same way.
Not at that point. No,
right.
Like I'm just thinking. Like I know I'm not faking W-2s. Like I know I'm not creating identities. I know I'm not like black and white breaking the law. But I also know that there's some problems.
Well, you're inflating appraisals.
Yeah, that stuff.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you're selling a house for $3 million that's only worth $1.5 million. So,
right. But in my mind, I'm like, but on paper, it's worth $3 million. And there's everybody else is doing it, and there's billboards on the freeway saying use your credit score to get cash back. So I just came up with a really good way to do it. Okay. Like that's what I'm thinking, right?
All right. So the FBI they come knock on your door.
Right. So now.
What day is this? I
you
know
know
you know the day, time. what you had on, what you put in your
I
coffee.
remember things different though. Here's why. My baby, my youngest child, was 3 months old. So the date, all I remember is I'm holding my little girl in my arms when they knocked on the door, and my husband's standing there with me. So I don't remember the date because I pretty much at that point when they walked in was so physically sick, because what they did, I said, listen, like, they said, we have some questions. We've been looking into you, things like that, you know? And I said, I have attorneys and I haven't done anything illegal, right? And the FBI looks at my husband and they said, she's gonna go to prison and you need to decide where you're gonna stand on this, because if you stand by her, you could get wrapped up in a conspiracy and go to prison too. And I'm standing there with my youngest child and my husband, and basically everything that I have in my life is just gone. Like, I just see it all disappeared that day. And I was.
And then they dipped right after
They dipped
that?
out, yeah. And yeah, I hadn't.
How long were they standing? Did they
weren't
come in
there
the house?
very long. Yeah, they walked in, and I remember looking.
You invited them in?
Yeah, that was a mistake. But I remember looking at Chad and said, don't you talk to them. Like, I'm like, this has to go, you know what I mean? Like, it just has to be quick. I'm dumb. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking, these guys are going to figure it out. Like, I'm a pretty good girl, you know, I got kids. I worked hard to get here. I'm not, like, super culpable. These guys are, it's going to be okay. But when they looked at Chad and said, yeah, she's going to prison, and you get to decide where you stand on this. And already, my husband's not happy, right? Like, my husband's been through, this guy doesn't know anything about real estate fraud, and he's, like, all in on our marriage, and he's going, this girl just took me to a place I didn't ever think I'd end up. Like, she's got all this money coming and going and these deals, and it's really chaotic and confusing, and I'm trying to take care of the kids. And so already my marriage isn't doing very well. And when they look at him like that, and I'm like, I'm going to lose everything. Like, I'm going to lose it all.
How long did they stay at your crib?
About 15 minutes, not very long.
Then they left. And your life changed forever.
Forever. I was so physically sick, I couldn't get out of bed for 2 days. Like, I was so sick. And I called back my attorney, and the attorney said, oh, well, maybe you have some problem. We'll go talk to the prosecutors, and the FBI will set up a meeting. So they did. They set up a meeting, and she's like, because at this point,
she who?
Well, I have a new lawyer. So my attorney, I have 2 lawyers at this point. I have the original guy, and then I have this other.
The original guy that the real estate dude sent you.
Yeah, who says.
Oh man, that was him. He was there to shield the dudes that referred you to him, so they don't get disbarred. Ain't no question.
So he's the guy that told me I didn't have much to worry about. Then,
right. And
then he sends the woman in. He's like, oh, I'm gonna have Rebecca go meet with the government with you.
How did Rebecca was your other lawyer?
Yeah, they worked at the same firm.
The same firm that the real estate dudes
sent me to.
Oh man.
So well, right. Things are gonna change.
They was hanging you out to dry.
But things get worse though, because so we walk in and there's like a whole team of FBI, prosecutors, you name it, and they are all lined up. And I sit down with my attorney, and my attorney's like, she tells me before I go in, do you know what a mea culpa is? I go, I don't really know. She goes, you need to just say you're sorry. Just listen to him. It's probably not that big of a deal. Well, when we walk in, I know. And she sees everybody. Now, here's the good thing that happens. They start asking me questions like I did things that I didn't do. Like they think it's a certain way. There's another.
The feds are asking you questions.
Yeah, and
in front of the 2 lawyers.
Right, and the Division of Real Estate and federal prosecutors. It's just a whole bunch of people.
Everybody.
And I'm like, and she goes, oh, this is a little more serious than I thought. Right, that many people are in there. And the guy starts asking me questions. Luckily, he's asking me things I didn't do. And finally he goes, damn it, Portia, the FBI agent. He goes, people have lost money. People with handicapped kids. People all over this country have lost money. And I'm looking at him like, you think I hurt people with handicapped kids? Like, I don't even know what you're talking about, you know? And I look at my attorney and I go, did you want me to say something about this? And she goes, we need to take a break. So we walk out and I said, it's not going very good. And she goes, yeah, maybe we'll just end this. So we go back in, and I said, I think that you're confused about my part. I go, I know that I have some problems, but I think
you're telling this to the feds.
Yeah. I said, I think you're confused about my part. Yeah.
And they looking at you, they just laughing at you.
Yeah. Oh, I had some
If they don't laugh visually, but in their domes, they're
right. No.
Motherfucker, you going to jail. You going to soon.
It gets worse though, because I end up later on going to the FBI office and taking a formal request for them to take a lie detector test. It gets
by yourself?
Yeah. Yep. I know I'm a mess. I know.
No, I know. It's
just
the fear. It's the terror of when they come into your life.
It's so bad.
That your life changes, man.
Forever. Yeah.
And you're trying to get back your life to what it used to be prior to that visit, but
and it's never going to be the way.
Back. It
no,
never goes
and
back.
I would hope that people who listen understand, like, there is a path through this, and there is a life after it.
Ain't no
but
question.
It's not going to be the same.
No.
It'll never be the same.
No.
And that's okay. It's better. It's better, but it's hard to see it at that point.
The path through it doesn't happen until you get to prison. But the
acceptance,
torture,
right?
the torture
the
is
lead up.
Trying to avoid prison. That, at least with my case.
Oh yeah, that went on for years for me. So imagine, like, these deals are from 2004. They don't even indict me. I think it was 2010.
6 years later.
yeah. Because
So you living with this shit on your mind
yes.
for 6 years.
Yes.
And you're still meeting with them throughout the 6 years?
I met with them a few times. They got the grand jury. Convened the grand jury. They had my mom and my son go to the grand jury. I sat outside the grand jury when they went in. All this stuff is going on, and the real estate market crashes. So financially now, I'm trying to maneuver and just provide. I'm losing everything, and I'm paying attorneys. I can't afford payments on the houses that I have because I had a bunch of houses.
Hard money loans.
Well, now even I have conventional loans. Like I have $3 million homes, right? That I pulled cash out of, and I'm now running out of the cash, and everything's just bad.
You're trying to keep up with the payments?
I'm trying to keep up with payments, right? And
They're not rented? You can't sell them?
Well, I had them rented, but no, you can't sell them because I borrowed too much and the market crashed. And my attorneys are like, don't even bother making
So you can't even sell the houses for the loans that you have against them because they're not worth that?
Right. No, they aren't.
Yo, you was in a jam, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
it's in this time I've hired multiple attorneys. I hired a former federal prosecutor. And
how much they charging you an hour?
Oh, I probably pay $200,000 or $300,000 in attorney's fees, just
Easy.
trying to keep things at bay, which is just so dumb. And then this one attorney, and he's passed away since, but he, like, basically after I've paid him quite a bit and he tells me he can win my case, he does two things. One, he basically threatens me and says, oh, well, I expect you to have sex with me. And two, he tells me my whole case is based on blaming my husband for the whole thing. And I'm like, oh my heck. What?
He asked you, he told you you had to let him hit it?
Yeah, something like that.
What did he say? How did he say?
He just said, I'm not getting anything out of this anymore.
This is at his office?
No, he was from Boston, and so he flew into Utah, and he had me come meet him at his hotel for like a business meeting. And
in the lobby?
No, in his room.
Oh, man.
Well, I don't know. So I'm like, well, that's not going to happen.
How long you have been talking to him?
Oh, I've been talking to him for like a year and a half.
And paying him?
Yeah.
So he flies into Utah to meet you about your case, knowing you scared to death.
Right.
And says, come up to the room.
Right.
And then what does he say?
He says, I'm not getting anything out of this. He's like, I'm going to need more. Like, I'm going to need more. And he wasn't talking about money. He knew I was broke. He had already told me financially. Basically, he was like, I'll continue to fight your case pro bono, but I'm going to need something from you.
That's all he said?
He tried to kiss me. Yeah, he tried to kiss me. So, like, I walked away. I walked out. I felt physically sick. Like, I felt like I just drank sewer water. I was like, what just happened? Because I've never been unfaithful to my husband. Like, that's my one, that's not going to happen in my life. And so I walk out. I remember calling my husband. Like, I was like, because he had, at this point, I didn't know his whole plan was to basically blame my husband, but I think he probably can win my case. Like, I think that. He has a lot of
You want to think that.
I want to think it,
but you're dead in the water.
I'm dead, right? Because
he's playing you. He's trying to play you.
He's made me these promises. He's told me that I can win it. We've met. He did a much better job meeting with the feds and the prosecutors. They really respected him because he had fought some big cases and won. And so he's still working with them and working with me, and I feel really stuck, right? Physically sick, like I'm stuck, I'm out of money. This guy can, like, I remember talking to people that I trusted. Even when I talked to my husband, he's just like, what in the heck? Like, it's gotten really tough, right? So here's what I did. The next day, I walked into my pretrial officer's office and I told him what happened. And he
told him what happened at the hotel
room.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then he went before the judge and had him removed from my case. And then the prosecutor, my attorney was super mad. He's like, how could you do that? I have my reputation with the court. How could you do that?
The dude from Boston.
Yeah. And then he left, and I got a CJA attorney. Like, they assigned me a court-appointed attorney at that point, which I was better off with. Like, honestly, and then they told me the truth. You're going to go to prison. Because my other attorney's like, hey, sleep with me. You're not going to prison, right? Yeah. Which I wanted to believe that I wasn't going to prison, but I wasn't willing to sleep with them. So that's where I find myself. I've already been indicted now.
How many counts?
19.
Of what?
Money laundering, mail fraud. You know the things. But
Money
the
laundering,
underlying mail fraud, wire fraud.
Bank fraud.
Right, bank fraud. But the underlying fraud that they could prove was that I didn't move in to the houses. I mean, if you read the indictment, it just says that I beefed up values on houses and pulled cash out. But the things they could get me on were those things on the mortgage app, the loan app, that I signed that weren't true, like occupancy.
Did you get your discovery?
Yeah.
Did you read it?
Yeah, and it was traumatic. I don't like reading that. Like the 302s and all the things that they had, I read through it, yeah. Here's the problem. I knew that I did things wrong. Like, I had attorneys that kept telling me maybe I could walk. Like, this Boston lawyer wanted me to go to trial. Like, I would have been doing 30 years.
Ain't no question.
Yeah, and so for me, like, it's sickening to me that this guy, I mean, he takes my money. He wants me to have sex with him. Luckily, I got rid of him at that point. But then also, he's going to lead me down the river and take me to trial?
Ain't no question. So Portia.
I told him I was guilty, and he's like, nah. I'm like, no, for real. Like, I think I am.
So when you get indicted, you don't go to trial, no, right?
No.
You don't go to trial.
No, but I've made him real mad by now. Like,
and at this point, you got a public defender or public pretender.
Right. So here's what happens. They indicted my husband. So now we're both indicted.
On the same indictment?
No, they indicted me and superseded it and added him. And if I would have pled guilty, they wouldn't have. But I wouldn't plead guilty. I didn't plead guilty until right before I went to prison. I was going to go to trial in 2015. 2014. 3 weeks before my trial, they revoked my pretrial release. They took me into custody.
In Utah?
In Utah. And then they locked me up on a mental evaluation. And they transferred me on Con Air to...
Oklahoma?
No, I've been there too though, but I ended up going to Pahrump, Nevada, and then to Seattle SeaTac, did the mental eval, was found competent, sent me back, and basically kept me locked up until I pled guilty, which, you know, that's just the way it goes. But at that point, after 3 months of being locked up, and I was held in isolation, I pled guilty. So, I mean, I really had to be broken down to plead guilty.
Did you cooperate?
No.
You didn't cooperate against nobody?
No. But at that point, they didn't even want anybody. You have to understand, they saw me as the leader of the whole thing. So
who in your discovery in them 302s, who cooperated against you?
Nobody. Well, my brother, but they indicted him too. They indicted my brother and my husband.
He was getting money out of the scheme too?
He was doing deals with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he turned on you, your blood brother.
And my husband, yeah.
Y'all got the same mother, same father.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't blame him. Like.
Did he tell you? Or did you find out in the discovery?
No. He. What happened was they indicted me, then they indicted my brother and my husband. They probably thought Chad would turn, and my brother turned right away. He just called him, and then he quit talking to me. You know, after that.
He didn't call you. Did he call you and say, "Yo, Portia, these people came to see me. They just indicted me"?
No, but like, it didn't surprise me. Like at this point, I just. My brother's not as strong as I am. It sounds funny, but it's like he wouldn't have done so well in prison. So for me, I'm like glad that he just did what he had.
But he didn't call you and tell you like,
no,
"Yo, man, I'm not." You know what I'm saying?
No.
You got to take care. You got to take this. I'm not taking this.
No, he didn't
just went down there.
He just went down and did his thing.
Shot you in the head.
Yeah, but the thing that hurt, and I mean, I love my brother, so I'm not trying.
Y'all cool now?
Yeah.
All right.
Good. We're not. Yeah. Was that he also turned on my husband, and I was like, that is hard for me. That's the one hard thing.
What was some of the C302s that they had?
They had
wiretaps.
No, they didn't. It was they had a lot of documents, and then neighbors and mortgage broker. All the people they went and talked to, I'm like, those are all like conspirators. You know what I mean?
Co-conspirators.
Yeah, I'm like, they're dirty. Like the
mortgage brokers
brokers
that you knew.
Right.
What about the hard money dudes?
I mean, the hard money dudes didn't really have a problem. Like, they just
Were
lent
they
the
in the
money.
302s?
Some of them, yeah. Here's how you know who had the problem and who didn't.
What about the appraiser?
The appraisers didn't say anything. They're like, no, she didn't do anything. But then that would make them culpable.
Was he in
right?
the 302?
Yeah, some of the appraisers.
Ain't no question. They went to before they came to see you.
But see,
They went and saw all of them, and when they came and knocked on your door, they already had spoken to everybody.
Right.
And had told everybody,
Right.
shoot her in the head.
I know they
or
do.
you going to jail too.
So luckily, my Boston lawyer, who ended up being a bit of a schmuck, he already knew the way they were going to do business.
Kobe, what's up?
He's just like, what?
So your Boston lawyer was a schmuck.
Yeah, he's the one that tried to kiss me. So, but here's the thing: he knew they were going to do that. So what did he do? We went and got 302s from all of them beforehand. We went to everybody. We traveled the country. He's like, let's go talk to every single person so that when they talk to the feds, because they're going to write their 302s.
And you're paying him to do all this.
Yeah.
Yes. Yo, they had a good one, man.
Well,
But when you're scared.
I just fought. It became my whole life. Like, I'm gonna fight this to the death.
Yo, when you
I'm
scared,
fighting to the death.
I remember the day they came to my office, man. I went to see this lawyer, and the same day he said, I had never, the feds. I didn't ever thought I was gonna go to prison for what I was doing either, which was with the income taxes, right? Getting
Right.
people back bigger refunds of what I was supposed to. I went to see this lawyer the same day. This is like 2 hours after they left my office, searching my office for 2 hours.
Yeah.
He said, Sean, I'm gonna need $50,000 to start, and I was like, oh man, that's when that shit sinks in, and
Yeah. You're
that
in
is
trouble.
real.
Right.
Yeah. So you get indicted, you plead guilty.
I plead guilty. Yeah.
You're already in custody.
No, they let me out. Like, they basically said if I pled guilty, they'd let me out that day. So yeah, I pled
So you
guilty.
got to go reunite with your kids.
And then 6 months later, I was sentenced.
All right.
And at this point, I'm facing 0 to 7 years. That's what I pled on.
What was your loss level? Basic offense loss level.
I mean, they did their magic math, and it was 11,600,000 or something like that.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't get that kind of cash, but that's the way that they calculated the loss. They took the loss based on what the house was at the $3 million, and then what it was worth now. And the market had crashed, so if it short sold for 700, I'm responsible for the 2.3 million. So they hit me with those kinds of losses. So it's 11 million and change is what my loss is.
Okay.
So they got me on 0 to 7 was my range.
Where did you fall on the sentencing guideline table? It's your first offense.
It's my first offense, right?
So you're category 1.
Right.
What level?
I don't even remember. I don't
How much time did you get?
7 years. Got the max that they could give me. I mean, I had pled
84 months.
84 months, right?
So that was your guideline range.
I guess. I mean, that's the deal. But I was facing. Supposedly, I was facing 30, but they gave me 0 to 7, and they maxed me at the 7.
11 million. If they really wanted to, they could have probably gave you a 20 ball.
Yeah. If I'd have fought, then I would have gotten that. Yeah. If I'd have gone to trial.
So you got 84 months.
Right. Yep.
And they take you into custody right after sentencing. They let you go home.
I was really fortunate. So, the day that I was sentenced, I don't know about you, but when I walk into a courtroom, it's a very sterile place to be. So I'm in denial before I walk in that courtroom. I'm like, maybe I'll get a year. Maybe I'll get a year. I don't have no formal criminal history or anything.
The beauty of hope.
Oh, I know.
And imagination.
Right. Well, and there had been an offer of 4 to 6 years, but
You turned it down?
I turned it down. Yeah. If I'd had pled early, I'd have gotten 2. Like, I just couldn't even accept that I was going to prison at all. Like, I could not until that day. I walk in.
Wow, they offered you 24 months?
Yeah, early on, yeah. And then I ended up with a 7-year plus the husband gets indicted. So I am.
Chad don't go to jail though, do he?
No, no, thank goodness. But I just remember that day looking back at my husband and kids and thinking, what have I done? What have I done? Like, because the reality is pretty real when you walk into a courtroom and they say the United States of America versus Portia.
Ain't no question.
You're like, my whole country's against me?
Right.
Like, you feel that's a pretty solid, like, reality check.
Right.
And I remember standing there, and I'm listening to them talk about me, and I'm thinking, who are they talking about?
The senior probation officer and the assistant U.S. attorney.
Yeah, and then the prosecutor and my attorney and the judge, and I'm thinking, they got this wrong. Like, they're talking about me. They're saying these really bad things, Oh. And then I remember the judge said, Miss Otter, do you have something to say? Now, I already know at this point they're going to max me out. Like, I can feel it in my soul. I'm like, okay, he's coming for me, right? So I stand up and he says, I said, I am just so sorry. I said, what I have done to my community and my family, I'm so sorry. And he goes, I'm sentencing you to 84 months in federal prison, Miss Outter. You'll be a mother again someday. That's what he said to me.
And that was it?
That was it. Now, he did say, marshals, take her into custody. Now, this point...
Right then?
Right then. This is when I realized this is serious, because I did not expect to go into custody that day, because I had been on pretrial release for years while I was under indictment, so I didn't think they would lock me up that day. I expected I would have time to kind of get things in order.
Right.
And I'm not a danger to society. I'm not a flight risk. I've been out since I pled guilty. So
you got kids. I
got kids. I got to get things wrapped up. And that's when my husband stands up and he's like, Your Honor, please don't do this to her. Please don't take her into custody today. Please give her time to say goodbye to her kids, because she's going to need that. And I remember that day looking back at my husband and thinking, man, I went from feeling like the loneliest day of my life to really feeling like a queen in that moment. I knew my husband would stand by me. I knew that what we had was a lot more solid than anything the feds could do.
And they didn't take you into custody based on what he said?
No, they gave me 8 weeks. And I thought, why did I hire an attorney?
So he said,
the husband did
take her
better
into
than
custody.
Yeah, no, the judge said take her into custody.
Now.
Right.
And the marshals start moving.
And my husband stands up and he's crying and he's holding our little girl and he said, please don't do this to her.
And what does the judge do?
He stops for a second and he goes, why do you think I shouldn't take her into custody today? He goes, I'm willing to listen to Mr. Louder. And again, I'm like, why did I get an attorney? Mr. Louder is doing really well for me right now, And he said, because she's going to need time. He goes, this is going to be really hard on her family and she's going to need time to say goodbye to our children. And the judge goes, I'll give her 8 weeks. And the gavel.
So you had this, okay. So then you had
to
self-surrender.
I walked out. Yeah, I self-surrendered.
You went home.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that was, my life has never been the same.
Ain't no question.
It's never been the same. Like,
No.
I just remember thinking, I have been such a fool to have traded something as valuable as money for something as valuable as time for something as foolish as money. Like, I have been such a fool,
So in 8 weeks, where do you self-surrender to?
Dublin, California. My husband drove me to the FCI that's now been closed in Dublin, California.
Was that a low or a...
It was the FCI. It's as high as you can get for females.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like going to R&D the first day?
I remember thinking, as soon as they closed the door, it felt the contrast of the life that I had to that life was like I knew I felt kind of like I'm in a vault now. Like I felt separated, it was devastating. I mean, my heart really broke. Like, I couldn't get out of my bunk for 3 days.
You had to be there by 12 noon.
Yeah, and here's how foolish I am. I went at 11 because I'm like, I like to be on time.
Right.
And I remember thinking, what have I done? Like, why didn't I wait that extra hour? Because, I was with my husband and he's crying and I'm like, I got this. Like, I got to keep myself together. I got to just go do this. I had no idea how heartbreaking it would be. Like, you can think you can know something, but until you experience it, you just don't know.
And your kids were in the car?
No.
Just you and him?
No. I left my kids in Utah with my mom and then he drove me, yeah.
All right, so you go in, you get your bunk, you go to health services.
Do all the things.
They send you to your unit.
Yeah.
And you walk in. Do the girls approach you right away and say, yo, where you from?
No. So I already knew some people because the feds had sent me on that little detour when they locked me up for the mental evaluation. So I actually looked up some of the people that were there that I was like, oh, they're going to Dublin. So I had reached out. I'm thinking ahead, so I had reached out and said, let me send some money to you on your books and you get me some stuff so when I get there I'll be good. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty good when it comes to planning those types of things. It was the heartbreak. It was the heartbreak that I wasn't prepared for. Like, yeah, I got some shampoo and some slider shoes, but that's nothing compared to how the heartbreak of going to prison. So.
What was the first 72 hours in there, like the first 96 hours, the first 3-4 days?
For me, I was so devastated I couldn't get out of my bunk for a few days.
You at the top bunk?
Bottom. We were in a A&O cell where there were only bottom bunks at that point.
So nobody had to double up. They didn't have to double
up? Not in orientation. Once they moved me to a normal cell, yeah, there's bunks.
Okay.
But there was a woman there that kept saying, you got to get out of the cell. Like, you're not doing well. She'd go to the kitchen and get me an apple and bring it back. And she's like,
you wasn't even going to man.
no, I'm doing nothing. I'm not getting
fucked up.
No, I'm really not well. And then she reminds me, she's like, if you don't leave, they're going to put you in a suicide cell. Like,
Right.
you're not well. I'm just like, I can't. All I can see is my children's faces. You know, I'm really broken. And here's the thing for me that happened. Like, I got on my knees and I remember saying this prayer. I just said, God, I have failed everyone in my life, my children, my community, and I can't see my way out of this. I am in the deepest hole. I just need to know who I am to you. And sitting in federal prison, I remember feeling this incredible amount of love, like this knowing of who I am. Like, I had lived my whole life trying to figure out who I was, and here I am.
Be somebody else.
Right. And all of a sudden I'm in a jumpsuit and I feel more valued than I ever felt out there with all the money and the crazy stuff.
Talk about it.
Yeah, and I'm feeling like, and I remembered going to AA, and I remembered that there was a path out, and I remembered that I gotta just be real. Like, I can't keep pretending. I've gotta find a place inside me that's deeper than all of that. And I could see that I had an important purpose on this earth, even in my weakest state, and I could see that everyone in there was valued. And I didn't know that. Like, here I am thinking, you know, people in prison are bad, people out here are good, and that's when it just shifted for me. I was like, I don't care what anybody thinks anymore. I gotta get right with me, man. I gotta get right with God.
You did all your time at Dublin?
I did a year at Dublin, so when I got to Dublin, I started blogging about the prison, because I'm still stubborn. I'm still gonna fight any way I can, right? And so I'm writing, and I'm sending it home to my husband. He's posting it. Because as soon as I was sentenced, the judge gave me that 8 weeks, I started a blog, and I started sharing. Like, what did I have to lose? I was on the 10 o'clock news at this point.
Wow, man,
yeah.
that's good. That's great thinking, man.
Oh, I really was just so brokenhearted. I was like,
you got followers from doing that?
yeah, like right away, I had people that were following me when
before
I even went into prison. So they followed me right in, and
They put money on your books?
I have family that did all that for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I get in, and I'm writing about my experiences, and I'm making the prison mad, because some of those experiences expose things going on in the prison that aren't good. So they're calling me over to the lieutenant's office every day, every week, and they're like,
You
hey,
gotta chill
Louder.
with this blog
Yeah,
shit.
Louder, you're going to make your time harder on you. I was like, that sounds like a threat. I know you're not trying to threaten me. He's like, I'm going to put you in the shoe and ship you somewhere else. That's what I'm going to do. Because, right, like, doesn't matter whether they're threatening me or not. They can do what they want. So.
They put you in the shoe?
Yeah.
How long you stayed in the shoe?
About a month. That time. I mean, I did some other shoe time, but yeah, about a month. So.
Where'd they ship you to?
That's when they shipped me, and that was a whole experience.
What,
right?
the shoe?
Well, the shoe is one thing.
Or the shipping?
The shipping.
The
Like the
Con
shoe
Air
and
flight?
yeah, because the marshals show up with their shotguns and their, you know, all the things. I'm like, this is.
And you shackled.
I'm chained and shackled, trying to shimmy up the plane, and I'm thinking, this is a little overkill for some real estate fraud. Like, come on now, right? Like, I'm not that scary. And I've got guys in cages, and so they get me up on the plane, and the girl.
Men in cages?
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all all flew together.
Yeah, the men and women are all together.
Dudes was talking shit to
Oh, yeah. And the marshals are yelling at them. And I remember turning around and I was like, you better knock it off. If you want me to talk to you, you need to treat me with a little bit of respect.
To the dudes in the
They quieted right down, yeah. Because I'm like, I'm willing to have a conversation with you, but you can't act like that, you know? So we started talking, and then the marshals were like, you can't do that. And I was like, I'm just asking them where they're from and where they do their time, you know? Actually, the marshals, one of the guys, he's like, thanks for calming him down. Like, he was pretty cool about it. So then I get transferred to Pahrump. That's a whole nightmare because Pahrump, Nevada.
Pahrump, Nevada.
Yeah, so if you're on the
another
west,
female
it's a
prison?
holding cell. Like,
Okay.
it's almost like Oklahoma
A holdover.
transfer.
It's a holdover.
So that you get off the plane, then they take you back out to Oklahoma, or out to Pahrump. I'm there for 3 weeks. Never know when you're leaving or where you're going.
Right.
They don't tell me none of that. I'm chained to a girl named Diamond. When we get there, they chain me back to a girl named Diamond. When we leave,
Different girl?
same girl. Yeah, they chain me back to Diamond. We get back on the plane and we go to Oklahoma. Now, this is where things get really sketchy, because I don't know if you've ever been to Oklahoma, Grady County. The transfer center is one thing, but Grady County, that's like a whole nother level. Like, that's when you're in deliverance. Now, you walk in and they're tasing people, and you've got these CO, well, I guess, yeah, COs or sheriffs or whatever they are, and I'm like, I look at the girl next to me and she goes, you can't treat us like this, we're the feds. And I was like, unchain me from Diamond. Like, I'm gonna take my I'll do this alone now. Like, I don't need Diamond causing me trouble, because they ended up putting Diamond in an isolation cell. I'm like, I'm going to general population now. And so I was there for a few days, and that place was really scary. It was pretty really not good. So I knew to just keep my mouth shut and get through that time. And then they put me back on the bus, back on the plane, and I landed about a month after I left Dublin in Waseca, Minnesota. And I did 3 years there. And that was an FCI too.
Portia, what are the racial demographics of these federal prisons you're going to? Is a lot of white girls there? Latino, black?
A lot of Latino
Asian?
and black.
Mostly?
I would say probably 60, 70%, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is when things become real, because I'm from Utah, right? And I'm like, oh.
There's not a lot of black and Latino people in Utah. Or is it?
Not compared to like Oakland, California. And Minnesota is...
And Dublin is right outside of Oakland.
Right. And also, even in Minnesota, you have people from Chicago and D.C. And so it's Detroit, more of a melting pot,
yeah,
right? And so that's when I realized, like, I have lived a very sheltered life. And
right.
I also realized that I've been so mad at the feds. Well, I got a good deal compared to a lot of these people. Like, they're poor. And that's when I realized, like, how fortunate I am. And I start seeing the world from a different view. I'm like, man, these people have it hard. And they're fighting battles I've never had to fight. And it starts to change me.
Right.
You know?
They have a fight in them that...
yeah,
it's inspiring.
Right. And I'm like, these are, like, hard. Like, these people have worked so hard just to get the basics. And that's when I think, I got to change. Like, I got to be a different person. Like, I can't live the way I've lived. I've seen too many things. And by the time I left prison, I wasn't the same person. Like, I was not.
What was some of the wild stuff you saw in there?
I was not a person that got into any nonsense. And the
was
girls
the nonsense going on if you wanted it?
Yeah. I mean, you could get involved in drugs, and girls are more codependent, so they all get in relationships with each other. And none of that was something. I remember this girl that had done 20 years. She's from D.C. It was a black girl. Her name was Val, and she's like, Portia, why do you think they called me Louder in there, my last name too. Louder, why do you think nobody in here tries to mess with me? I was like, Val, people know not to mess with you in here. And she goes, I said, Val, why do you think nobody in here comes on to me? And she goes, Louder, people in here know not to do that with you. And I think that is what I learned about prison, was that nobody was going to take something from me that I wasn't going to give them, right? It didn't matter if it was a pack of tuna fish. It didn't matter if it was a
pen.
Nothing. Like, I'm going to walk my own course. Nobody's going to influence me, and I'm grateful that my parents taught me that. Like, they were really out-of-the-box thinkers, and I was like, I will do what I want to do. Nobody's going to convince me to do something I don't want to do, right? I've already been down that path. And so I didn't get in any trouble. There were some nonsense that went on, and I remember getting called to the lieutenant's office because some girls across the way from me had gotten themselves into trouble. And when I came back, I said, any time that you guys are messing around and I get called to the lieutenant's office, it's a problem for me. So you need to knock that off.
You went to the girls?
Yeah. And one of the girls like, oh, did you snitch us out? And one of the other girls in the room said, she would not snitch us out. If that was going to happen, that would have happened a long time ago. I said, no, I didn't snitch you out, but you need to take your nonsense elsewhere. It doesn't need to happen around me, you know? So I didn't really have any problems.
You didn't have no static?
No. And honestly...
Mind your business?
Oh, yeah, but I loved those women, too.
Did you work out?
I walked a lot. I was writing on a blog. I wrote content. I created programs in prison. Like, I started teaching classes and creating programs. And
what kind of classes?
I taught girls how to write. I taught, like, goal setting, write your own mission statement, prepare to go home. I worked in reentry and helped them write resumes, and just I helped in GED because I passed the GED. So I was like, anything I can do to basically find some meaning in this experience. And by the end, I was really happy. I really liked myself by the end of my prison sentence.
Did the girls work out in there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of the girls worked out.
What kind of workouts they was doing?
I mean, they do all the things. The burpees, the runs, the this, the sit-ups, the pull-ups, the weight training, all the things. I wasn't big into that. I just went outside and walked and walked and walked. So I'm sure the guys are different with that, right? They get into there's more violence, a lot of the workout and the discipline in that way. I felt like with women, we were really heartbroken. Like, even the women that acted tough on the rec yard, when they would come talk to me, they would tell me,
they'd be destroyed.
They're heartbroken. That's why I think
a lot of them had kids back home.
Yeah, and so when I see this great big black girl, I'm like, and people are scared of her, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's just a tender-hearted, broken-hearted little
This
girl.
Val?
Yeah, people were scared of her. I'm like, no, you don't have to be. She's just a broken little girl. And they were.
How much time she had?
She got a life sentence. She got out, though. She did.
She had a life sentence?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was in on a violent crime. So.
Did you make some meaningful friendships?
Lifelong friends. Some of my best friends. I run a prison program now. Like, I have 80 people in a program that when they're getting out of prison, they come to our program and they do therapy, get jobs and housing. Like, my whole life is different than it was before.
You linked up with the BOP with that?
We work in Utah in the state prison, and
okay.
I have my books are available on and videos available on the BOP tablets, or not on state prison tablets, and I'm gonna go into the BOP. It's just harder with the BOP than it is
to get approved.
Yeah, because they're starting to get tablets, but it's easier to get stuff in on tablets. I can't go to every prison. Like, I've been in prisons. I go speak in prisons, but yeah.
Even with a felony conviction?
Oh, yeah.
They clear you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm getting a job for, just got offered a position for Utah State University to go into prisons for them. Like, I haven't had any problems with my background. It's been a strength to me, but I've embraced it. I mean, I tell people all the time that are leaving prison, I'm like, there's going to be things you can't do and things you can, but if you focus on your strengths, I'm a hard worker. I started when I got out of prison for $13 an hour. I can make easily $100 an hour now. You know what I mean? I just quit a job making $100 an hour. I mean, I know that if the way I work, as hard as I work, that I will be successful. And if you come out of prison, and a lot of the people I met were willing to work hard and put in the work, people will notice and they'll work their way up. But as long as you're like, I can't do this, nobody gives me a fair shake, that's where the trouble lies, is in those situations. So.
Portia, I'm gonna say some words. And then I just want you to just take off when I say them and just give me what you think.
Okay.
Self-esteem.
Empowerment. I just think it's all within your control to decide what you think of yourself. That comes from who you are, not what anybody else says. And I think I have a very high self-esteem. Yeah.
Self-perception.
I think that comes from your self-esteem. Like, I think that the way you see yourself is based on your actions and your integrity and who you are, the way you treat others. So I perceive myself as a person that has integrity.
Your past. The past.
The past is my strength and credibility. It's a strength to me. My past and what I've been through has given me compassion, it's given me vision, and I am who I am today because of my past, so I embrace that.
You ashamed of it?
No. There are things that I regret. The way I hurt my children, I deeply regret, but I don't hide from it. I'm willing to own it and face it and move through it because I want the power that lies on the other side of that.
Confidence.
Something that we don't all have, but something that my parents gifted me with, and I'm very grateful for it. I'm a confident person, and I want everyone to have that.
Is it important?
It's important.
Why?
It's important to me because it's become an asset. I do public speaking, and being able to. It can also be a weakness, right? Like, I was really confident when I was out hustling and doing these deals, and that I look back and I'm kind of like, without integrity, I think confidence can be a weakness, but it's also something that you can develop. You can work on it, right? I think I saw the girls that I was in prison with build on that by living, correct principles. You can develop it.
Integrity.
Oh, it's one of my highest values. Yeah, and I have it.
What does it mean to you? It
means being truthful with yourself and others in every situation. It means that I'm not one person to you and another person in a different situation. It means being unified in your soul.
Authenticity.
One of the most important qualities. Like, it's genuine connection comes from being authentic, and it is a huge value if you want to have relationships is authenticity, and you can feel it. It's not something you have to tell people I'm authentic. They just know it.
Portia, thanks for coming through, man.
Sean,
thanks for coming.
You're amazing.
Through,
thanks for the conversation.
Thanks for coming through, man. The podcast was sold. It don't never stop. Portia, thank you, man.
All right, brother.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, peace.
Yep.